question. What are you filling up on?
I'm filling up on my spiritual walk with God.
What are you filling up on? In terms of food, what are you filling up on? Do we fill up on junk food? Do we fill up on snacks? Do we fill up on vegetables? When I'm looking at my inner self, what am I filling up on? Am I filling up on my appetites that are healthy for me or those that are not? Because we all got some stuff that we filling up on because our body requires that we eat. And I ain't talking about just physical food, but all of us have an appetite for something. And when I think about it, I don't always fill up on what is best and healthy for me. Right?
Yeah, right.
So the question becomes, what am I filling up on? He says, are we just settling for what's easiest, quickest, or the most pleasing at the moment? Huh?
Most pleasing at the moment.
The most pleasing at the moment? Because the wait to, just think about as he talks about his kid and how it is his job because she is not mature enough to make her eat what's best for her. His job, he says, is to make sure that she doesn't fill up on those things that are not healthy before a meal because then she will not eat a nutritious meal. Because she's full, she already appetite gone, and so we don't get what we need. Y'all following me?
Yes, sir.
I have an appetite. And I know what that appetite is. And I know within the bounds of what I need to feed on that appetite. But if I'm not careful, I step out of bounds, feed on things that are not good for me. And when it becomes time, when it becomes meal time, I ain't hungry. Somewhere in the word he says, how can I feed you if you're not hungry? How can I give you something to drink if you're not thirsty? The idea is that we're already full. Probably full of ourselves. Rick Warren says, I think it was Rick Warren, he says that most of us have not yet surrendered because we are still full of ourselves. And that is true. If I'm full, I ain't asking God to feed me because I'm already full. You follow me? The only way that I am not full is to develop an appetite, which means the things that are already in me that I know that are not healthy, those things that are already in me that are not causing me to eat healthy meals, I gotta digest. I gotta get rid of. But you're right, Brown. I want the very thing that is the quickest, the easiest, and the most pleasing at that moment. Don't nobody want to wait for the 6 o'clock meal so we can eat a nutritious meal. We just want to eat all day long, don't we? And all that said is we just want to indulge in whatever we want to indulge in that's going to bring me pleasure for the moment rather than looking at the long term of waiting.
Temporary satisfaction.
Yeah, we do it right here, right now. Most of us are looking at only the things that's going to bring me pleasure. And that means going out, you know what I'm saying, rather than waiting. And in the long run, we realize, I should have waited. I shouldn't have left. I should have did this. Well, hindsight, what do they say, is 20/20? And he says here, I'm the one who sets the limit at a time when Madeline is not mature enough to do so. See, we need some people in our lives to help us. You follow me?
Yes, sir.
Because it's some areas in my life that I ain't still mature in yet.
Yeah.
A whole bunch of them, matter of fact.
Yeah.
Shoot, you talking about a babe in Christ? Yeah, I'm still sucking on milk in some areas that I ain't grown that I should be, but I ain't beat myself up about it neither. You follow me? Because to beat myself up about it leaves me where I am. He says, I'm the one who sets the limits. And we need some people in our life sometimes to help us set some limits. Because I don't want to set the limits because I don't want to not do without the pleasure of. And when some people set some limits in my life, it may not be comfortable. Yeah. It may not bring me the temporary pleasure that I want right now. And so he says, the more I do it, the more structure. I like this. The more structure she internalizes. And the easier it becomes for her to delay gratification and wait for dinner and the delicious, healthy food that awaits her. Yeah.
Well, you know what's funny? Is that's what I was looking at this morning in 1 Corinthians chapter 3. It deals with the spiritual babes eating and drinking milk.
Right.
And that's the first thing you started talking about this morning.
But he says, the more I do it, the more I do it, the more I practice operating in the delayed gratification, the easier it becomes. The more I practice at eating what is healthy, the less I will want that which is unhealthy. Check it out. He says, the more I do it, the more structure she internalizes. And that's one thing we lack is structure. We lack the inability to say, no, I'm not going to eat this half a gallon of ice cream before dinner.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm not going to indulge in this when I know it ain't good for me. Structure and self-discipline we lack. And I only want that thing that makes me feel good. And God puts us in positions sometimes that do not always feel good. But what he is saying is, I know it don't feel good right now. Remember yesterday we talked about Jesus was on his way to Jerusalem. Now he knew when he got to Jerusalem, it was not going to feel good. But he wasn't looking at just Jerusalem. He was looking past Jerusalem to his Father. And he was able to keep going. See, we get caught up in what's happening right now. And we say, I got to have this, and I got to get this, and we miss out on what delayed gratification, what structure and limits can bring to us. You follow me?
Yes, sir.
And so he says, all of us need to do the same. The same is true for us. We need to say no to some forbidden fruit before dinner so we can enjoy God's fruit that is spiritually fulfilling.
Wow.
See, that which is unhealthy ain't going to last, is it?
That's right.
But that which is healthy, God's food, it lasts forever, don't it? He even says in his word, he says, you know, come drink with me and I give you water. I give you living water. Water where you will never thirst again. Well, I want some of that water. Yeah. I don't know about y'all. We drink some water and see, we still be thirsty, though. He said, I got some living water. He says, when we are growing spiritually, the fruit of the Spirit is very appealing to us.
Yeah. Attractive it is.
The fruit of the Spirit is appealing to us. It is only appealing when I am living right, ain't it?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. We talked about that the other day too. We don't carry through and we don't follow through because this thing is not appealing to us. It's not attractive to us. Yeah. If recovery and living right and doing the things that I know I need to do is not attractive to you, you in trouble. For most of us, recovery is a burden. I got to do this. I got to do that. Man, all right, keep allowing it to be a burden. And one day you'll come to your own conclusion that, you know what, I got to do this. And what I found out is that I like doing it. Like I said yesterday in the beginning, it was a burden. But here he says when we are growing spiritually. So obviously when we ain't growing, then ain't none of it appealing, is it?
Yeah.
Huh?
No.
You know how we know it ain't appealing? Because we keep doing the same destructive behaviors and patterns over again rather than it ain't appealing. And y'all better find something that's appealing about this process. Every system that you find yourself in, you better find something appealing about it. Marriage, you better find something that's appealing about it, or you ain't going to be married very long. Recovery, you better find something that's appealing about it. Church, you better find something that's, and you say church, yeah, church, because most of y'all are tired and bored with church right now. It's the same routine. We get out of church at the same time, and you better find something that's appealing about it.
You know,
Go ahead.
That it doesn't appeal, but does it appeal enough to put the work in for it?
That's right.
You know,
That's what you have to ask yourself.
But you know, if it came easy, then it'd be way more appealing.
That's right. I want it. And everything that we have, everything does not always come that easy. The problem is, check this out, most things have come easy to us.
Yeah.
And now, for the first time in about 30, 20, 40 years, we having to work. School came easy for me. You know why? Because I did just enough to get by. And as long as I was making 70s and when I was going to school, 60s was passing. Yeah. And as long as I could make it on the curb, I was cool. Sports came easy to me. I ain't did no work. I told you I didn't lift. I didn't put no work in. I was just naturally talented, and I rolled on that. And when this process started to hit addiction, and I realized how much work I had to put in the beginning, I was not willing to put the work in. Staying and being married has been more work than I put in for. You follow me? Getting up, going to work every day, and trying to be the right person and the husband and the father and the provider is more work.
Wow.
But I see some things that are appealing about it.
Yeah.
That keeps me going for now. You follow me?
Yeah.
And you're right. If it's appealing enough, I ought to be able to put the work in. And so when I'm not putting the work in, obviously I'm saying this is not appealing to me. And we do what we want to do. You follow me?
Yes, sir.
We do what we want to do. He says we believe that only this fruit will truly fill our appetite. Talking about God. When we are filled with the fruit of the Spirit, we have much less to desire to be filled with forbidden fruits. Not that we wouldn't think about forbidden fruits. Not that they wouldn't pop up. Not that they wouldn't cross our minds. But you know what? That becomes less and less and less important to us. Why? Because I found myself filling up on that which is appealing. And I am growing spiritually. And so the more I grow spiritually, the less I want of that. He says, however, now we're going the other way. However, when we are not filling our appetite for fruit with what the Spirit has to offer, we still have an appetite, don't we? Just because I ain't filling up on God's word and his appetite don't mean that I don't have an appetite. Shoot, there's some stuff over there I still like. There's some stuff over there I still want to do. He says, and forbidden fruit begins to look more and more appealing. When we fill ourselves up with forbidden fruit, we will experience less desire for the fruit of the Spirit. Nah, I don't want that. I want some cookies. You follow me? Yeah. I don't want broccoli and, I don't want that. I want some cookies before the meal. so that when it becomes time to eat that which is spiritual food, I don't want it because I've filled up on that which is forbidden. And it becomes more and more appealing. It becomes easier and easier to indulge in that which is forbidden.
Yeah.
Yep.